Alright guys, welcome back to another Walking Dead vlog. As always, it's the Airy Lord. This is a vlog for Season 10 of The Walking Dead. A preview for Episode 13, What We Become. The description is Michonne takes Virgil back to his mysterious island to reunite with his family. In exchange, Virgil promises weapons that could change the tide of the Whisperer War. Now, this seems to be Michonne's final episode. It looks like this is a Michonne-specific episode, much like how Season 9, Episode 5 was Rick Grimes' last episode. And this was, again, partially due to the actor wanting off the show, and probably also because there were some directing choices and just story choices in general in which they wanted to move on from the character. But I am hoping... I will talk about this at the end of the vlog, but I'm hoping for a few things with Michonne. I don't want her to be killed off from the show, is my quick answer, but I'll go into it a little bit just as soon as we get through some of the preview images that we were offered. Now, very strange, or I guess not very... I mean, everything going on in the present day, for anyone who has been, living just in their normal lives, knows that the coronavirus is kind of not really destroying, but pausing life in many ways. And I'm going to put up another vlog about this because I want you guys to not really hear my perspective, but I just wanted to make kind of like a PSA about it. And just try to help people, use my channel as an outlet, especially in the middle of a Walking Dead season when I know there's more viewership than normal. So I'm going to do that, but the main reason I'm bringing it up now is because the preview clip, usually I'll watch Talking Dead and then I'll look up the preview clip, because at the end of every Talking Dead episode they have a small preview clip that's an addition to whatever preview clip AMC's page releases. And because there was no Talking Dead filmed for episode 12, because they just don't want, they want people separate. All of the things that the main reason why sporting events and whatnot have been canceled. And it was very, very frustrating on a side note, because Samantha Morton, I know if you guys, obviously, if spoilers for episode 12, but I'm assuming if you're watching the preview for episode 13, you've seen episode 12. I was very, very... it was frustrating because I knew that Samantha Morton and Thora Birch, who play Alpha and Gamma, were going to be on Talking Dead, because the week before, Chris Hardwick said at the end of the episode that Jesus, the actor who played Jesus, would be on, as well as two surprise guests. Now, considering two major characters were killed off last episode, it's kind of obvious who the two surprise guests were going to be. Samantha Morton has also never been on Talking Dead, and that would have also been her first time. So I'm really, 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 really upset that she didn't get to give her take on season, or her time on The Walking Dead in general. Now, if you go to AMC Talking Dead and the AMC Walking Dead Facebook, Instagram, Twitter pages, whatever on social media, there are some Talking Dead-esque behind-the-scene interview videos that they've been releasing over the course of today, which is Monday. And those clips they usually put during the Talking Dead episode in between Chris Hardwick interviewing the actors and actresses. So at least we have that, but I was very, very, very just disappointed. And I don't even think there's going to be one for episode 13. And you can imagine that if this is Michonne's final episode, Denai Guerrera was probably going to be the guest for episode 13's Talking Dead. So I really think, and not to make this the whole vlog, but I really think that they should have some sort of online thing with Chris Hardwick where he does like a video interview or something. Like there are ways to do it. Talk shows like John Oliver, Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, and Stephen Colbert's Late Night Show. I mean, they've been running episodes of their show with no audience. It's felt different, but I mean, John Oliver's recent episode that he put out yesterday, was just as funny as the ones that he has with an audience. So there's still ways to make it work. So I was just frustrated because we're getting really good episodes of The Walking Dead. You know, that was Alpha's last episode. Probably one of the greatest villains The Walking Dead has ever had. And then Michonne, one of the longest running characters, one of the most important characters in the series, last episode, and we're not going to get a discussion about that. So it's very frustrating. I mean, I know my complaints about this fucking virus are minuscule compared to people who are actually sick, contagious, and are suffering actual effects and not just being affected by canceled sporting events and media. So I shouldn't complain too much because it seems like those who complain have the effects of the virus come down upon them almost like a Passover Egyptian plague. So I should tighten my lips, it seems, but I just wanted to let you guys know that the preview clips I'm going to go through are only those that the YouTube channel have released, the Walking Dead's YouTube channel, and those are the only previews. And then there was an additional preview that they released on their channel. So there's two. Who knows? Maybe one of those would have been used in Talking Dead. But anyway, now that I've spent like half the video talking about that, I just needed to get it off my chest. I probably would have talked about it in my coronavirus singular vlog had I not brought it up now, but I just wanted to kind of do a preface to explain to you guys why some of the clips are different, and I would kind of be a fool to not bring up what's going on right now because it's affecting literally everyone across the world, unless you live under a rock or on a deserted island. It's affecting everyone, and I will discuss that in a separate vlog, but for now, let's go into the images. All right. I'm actually going to put a timestamp because I feel like not everyone wanted to hear that, so I'll just put a timestamp in the description saying you can skip to this part if you don't want to hear this. All right, anyway. So, our first image is of Michonne and freaking Virgil, and Virgil is popping a boner in this image. Just kidding, he is carrying his backpack. I took this screenshot at a very inauspicious time. So, that's a little weird there. And then we've got this setup. I don't know what this is. It almost looks like a golf course here. And he's got like there's picnic tables, and he's got, you know, some of his summertime clothes up drying. I don't know what the heck's really going on here. And then this guy's he's pulling something because Michonne unsheathes her sword and puts it right in his face and says, "Listen, buddy, I don't know what the heck this is," because originally the deal, as I said in the description of the episode, was that Michonne was going to get weapons to help against the Whisperers, and this guy seems to be a lying sack of shit. So, in keeping with that theme of him being a lying sack of shit, we have a couple of quick images that go by. We have a dark photo of Michonne illuminated by only a very small speck of light. And then we have a sailboat on fire, which tells me that somebody does not want Michonne leaving the island. Could it be Virgil? Could it be somebody else? We don't know. I'm going to go through my theories at the end of this vlog. So there's that. Let's see. Going through some other images. We have Michonne. It almost looks like this. All these images that I saw. Now, there's a separate preview clip that is kind of a flashback to an alternate reality, and it was really intriguing when I watched it. But besides that clip, that's a separate point I'm going to make in a bit. But besides that, the other images we got seem to point toward, like, this reminds me of Alcatraz, a prison on an island. This is very Alcatraz-esque. Geographically, I don't know where they are because geographically, I don't know where the hell Oceanside is, so I can't really even pinpoint where on the East Coast they are. So I don't know if people are good with Virginia's geography, but like what island is off the coast of Virginia that could act like an Alcatraz? That's I mean, I could look into it. If any of you guys know, let me know. But something about this intrigues Michonne. She's walking around, and I get a lot of prison vibes. Now, there have been a bunch of theories, and what is Michonne gonna find here? The popular theory, and the one I'm gonna stick with, is that this island and Virgil, it's connected to the CRM. And if you don't know what the CRM is, it's basically the helicopter group that Jadis is with that took Rick away. They were the group that was doing all those deals with the junkyard, with the A and B stuff. They are going to be front stage center for World Beyond, which will premiere in April. And they'll obviously be the main protagonist, antagonist of the Rick Grimes movies, okay? We don't know much, really, if anything, about them, other than that they have helicopters, a very strong military with soldiers in black uniforms, and they've got this A and B system, and they're trying to figure out something. They're either trying to solve the cure, they're trying to harness the cure as a super weapon. I don't know what the hell they're trying to do. It's probably one of those two things. My guess is Michonne is going to find something here connected to Rick, okay? And I guess to jump to this theory early, I really hope that Michonne doesn't die in this episode. Because she's not going to be in the show. We know that. But I hope that the end of her character is not her death. And this was the same thing I hoped for Rick. And then we got the announcement of the movies, and I was really excited. Because for some viewers, and I've seen this argument, that Rick's end was twofold. You could say that he died on the bridge, blowing up, saving his family, stopping the advance of the walkers and blowing up the bridge, and saving everyone. He went out a hero, and then he washes down the river and dies, and that's the end of Rick Grimes. Or there's the extension of his story with the helicopter group being saved by Jadis and flying off to some unknown location to do an unknown number of things. So the popular theory is that Michonne is going to find some evidence of Rick, either hear his voice or maybe find his... The theory is that she'll find his clothes, like his... that khaki jean jacket that we like look at what he was wearing when he blew up on the bridge. He had like the gray jeans and the khaki jean jacket, or maybe his trusty police belt. We know that his Colt Python was left behind and Judith now has it, so it can't be that. But basically something else that Rick had on his person that maybe is taken by the helicopter group and is stowed away. That is the popular theory that people have touted. And I hope that this episode ends with Michonne going off on an adventure to find Rick. And then they bring Michonne / Janai Guerrera into one of the Rick Grimes movies. And I feel like if she's going to be in one, maybe she'll be in the sequel to it. Maybe because originally they said it was a trilogy of movies. And the years that it takes to just film one of these freaking things, maybe that's enough time for Janai Guerrera to do her own projects. I think she's like directing a show on HBO now. Maybe that's enough time for her to do her own stuff. Kind of like Andrew Lincoln. He almost like went into like mini retirement. He did like a small film in Australia, but that was really it. And so he had his retirement, and then a year or two passed, and Gimmel's like, all right, you ready to be Rick Grimes again? And then someone would say the same. Are you ready to be Michonne again? And I want a solid ending to her character. Also because she's the mother of RJ and Judith. So how are you going to remove her from the show and not tell Judith or RJ, especially Judith? I mean, RJ's a very young kid, but Judith is competent, killing walkers, a main character that we feel for, not a baby anymore. I feel like you should, and this is in general, I want a reunion between Judith, Rick, Michonne, and RJ. I want those four characters maybe in the series finale or the final movie. I want some sort of ultimate reunion between them because I just feel like it would be such great fan service and a great way to end the series. Obviously, I've talked about some of these theories in the past. I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit, but I just wanted to throw that out there. So, we have a few other images, and this one right here is of a random dude. I don't know who the heck it is. It's some random dude running with a gun drawn. In the next shot, Michonne slices him. And I took a really good shot of this because there is blood coming out of his head. So, A+ to the photographer, which is me. And then we have Michonne entering this Alcatraz-like prison. Not sure what she's going to find there. I mean, we just discussed some theories. And then we have this interesting scene, which was this was the image that was teased to us in the first season 10 trailer, where Michonne is holding Lucille. Now, I thought originally that this was going to have something to, obviously, that this was going to have something to do with Negan, because you see Lucille, you think Negan. And Negan still doesn't have the original Lucille. He has a new baseball bat that Brandon made for him. So let's not forget the baseball bat that he's had with him since Carol, we now know, let him out of the prison in Alexandria. Brandon made that. Remember, he's like, sorry, I was wrapping your gift. So we still don't know where the hell the original Lucille is. Okay, and I feel like eventually that question will be answered. But for now, we don't know. Based on the next set of images, I think that this is like, it's not really a flashback, but it's Michonne having wacky visions. So remember when Rick saw Herschel and he saw Sasha and he saw Shane? This is similar to that. These are and I'm not confirming this. These are just my theories, because we see Michonne with Lucille, and I might as well jump into this kind of next / final point because it backs up my theory. We see Michonne with her walkers. We see Michonne with her ex-boyfriend and his friend, the two guys that got high and ended up letting all the people at the FEMA camp get killed. If you guys remember, it was a long time ago, if you guys remember the origins of Michonne. And we see her walking in her original outfit with the hood over her face. And in this shot, it's very interesting because a certain character comes back. And I don't know if they actually brought this character back, but it's Andrea. It's freaking Andrea from seasons 1, 2, and 3 of The Walking Dead. I mean, talk about freaking, like, holy crap. I mean, that's going back in the time machine. I don't know if they got the actual actress who played Andrea to be in these scenes. Now, again, because The Talking Dead is probably going to be canceled next week, we might not get confirmation on that unless The Walking Dead social media pages puts out information that, yes, I think Lori Loughlin, or I forget the actress's name who plays Andrea. It's been so many freaking years since she's been in the show. But this is really cool that we get this scene. This is how Michonne was connected to the group, because she saved Andrea. And then there was all the stuff with the governor, and the rest is history. But this gets pretty dark, because this seems to be an alternate reality of sorts, because in the scene, Andrea struggles with the walker just like in the season 2 finale, but instead of Michonne coming around and killing the walker, in this scene, it's super, super dark because she just watches, and then she kind of just like shakes her head and walks away. And then you hear Andrea, like, screaming more intently, which tells you that the walker actually, devours her, actually, like, bites her on the arm. And basically, I feel like Michonne's life is flashing her past, because this is the decision that led to everything. If she let Andrea die, the entire future is different. Because, like, oh my gosh, I mean, to go back in the time machine, I mean, obviously Andrea's dead. The governor doesn't lose his eye. Maybe Rick and the rest are wiped out because it was really Michonne who revealed the governor's position, and Rick in the group was able to go back there and rescue Glenn and Maggie. Because if you remember, Glenn and Maggie were captured by Merle, and they didn't know that until Michonne came with the baby formula and came to their gates. So if she had never came to the gates and done that, then potentially the governor mobilizes his forces and catches Rick completely off guard and just slaughters them. So honestly, I mean, Michonne is just completely crucial to everything, really. I mean, they could have all been dead. None of this could have happened at all without her, which is just absolutely crazy to think about. So those are the images, and I'm wondering what you guys are gonna happen in this episode, because I definitely think that Michonne. I say that Michonne is. It would be cliche if she was also taken by helicopter, don't you think? Remember, and I actually reacted to this in episode 12. Remember when Michonne is... Oh, sorry, not Michonne. When Carol finds an object on the ground when she's talking to Eugene, I thought that it was Lydia's staff. Now, it was not Lydia's staff. Apparently, it was Michonne's sword. Either that or the sword sheath. So Michonne was in that area prior at some point, and I guess we're going to find out in this episode. And I didn't even realize that. When people were like, oh, crap, it's Michonne's sword, I was like, oh, wait, really? I thought that was just Lydia's staff when she was captured by Negan, when Negan captured Lydia, and, Lydia had her staff with her. I thought that she just dropped it, and then Carol found it in the same spot, and so that was, it was buying into her plan. I thought that was that whole plot line. I didn't think that Michonne's sword was just sitting there. So, very interesting. I don't know much about this episode. I really don't. All the stuff with Alpha in the previous episode, I kind of knew that, she was going to die eventually. In the comics, it is Negan who kills her. So I was like, all right, this is going to happen at some point. When's it going to happen? They could have left it to the finale, but, they put it in episode 12 because, you still got one big member of the Whisperers left who can still wreak havoc. So, they're going to have him to reckon with, and he's going to want revenge now that Alpha's dead. So, I don't know. This is an episode that is far removed from everything in The Walking Dead. And it's interesting because this episode was supposed to be episode 12. Episode 13 was supposed to be Walk With Us, where Negan kills Alpha. And that would explain maybe why Carol looks on the ground and finds the sword sheath or the sword or whatever the hell she finds. That would explain it, because if they had put the episodes in the original order, then we would have already seen Michonne's departure and realized why that sword is there. But they did it in the reverse, so maybe there's still something about that. I'm not sure, but I have a lot of questions going to this episode. But I think the most logical thing is that she finds some evidence of... I really want it to be. I really want her to find some evidence that Rick is alive. She'll go through some sort of psychedelic, Asian mind trip of some type where she imagines herself not saving Andrea, imagines herself in the role of Negan when she's holding Lucille. I think that's also a dream sequence. And she's going to basically, run through her entire life, and then by the end of it, I feel like, I don't know, she gets captured by the CRM, or Virgil, it turns out to be from the CRM, or he says to, Michonne says to Virgil, like, take me to Rick, like, I gotta find Rick, like, this belonged to Rick, like, that would make the most sense to me. And then you can get people even more hyped up for the movies, as long as they freaking release some information about them. That's another topic for another day, but still, I think that's the most logical thing. I think it's what would excite people. If you just have her die from a walker or some unnamed character, because think about it, like, let's say she's killed, it would be Virgil or an unnamed character who would deliver the killing blow, okay? And it wouldn't be as epic as Rick taking out a bridge to stop walkers from getting to his family. Like, I don't think you could do the same thing, because the group is separate from Michonne's story. Unlike with Rick, when Rick was impaled on the rebar and was on the horse and was having all these hallucinations, the rest of the group was there. Daryl was trying to take out walkers on the bridge. Michonne was screaming Rick's name. They all saw it happen. But with Michonne, it just seems like she's alone in this episode. It's her, it's Virgil, and a few other select characters. And so I just think that it would be really dumb for her death to be something where, like, nobody knows. It's like, oh, Michonne just never came back, and Judith is left wondering forever where the hell her mom is. And it's just, I would be really disappointed in that decision. So I hope that Michonne can leave, like, a letter for Judith and say, hey, I'm going to find Rick, I found evidence, blah, blah. Like, I need some closure, especially with Michonne and Judith. Like, I need some sort of closure. I mean, Michonne can't just leave and not tell anybody, at least Daryl or somebody, where the hell she's going. Like, I'm just going to be disappointed if they cop out. And I trust Angela Kang. She handled Rick's departure masterfully. I don't think she could have done it better, because, again, you got like two endings, basically. You could have said that Rick died blowing up the bridge, or he continues his journey with the movies and the helicopter group, and there's still a chance for him to loop back into the show's storyline as things progress, especially with the radio and the Commonwealth on the horizon after the Whisperer arc eventually ends, and, soon, probably. I mean, now that the leader of the Whisperers is dead, it seems like their days are numbered. So I hope that's what this is all leading to. These are all theories that I've had for months, really. Ever since Rick left in the helicopter, these are theories that I've had. And as I see the show progressing and, World Beyond, I feel like we're getting teased. We're getting little teases for things here and there as the show progresses, as these other shows progress, as we get more news about the movies. I think this is where we're headed. And it's going to be split, because you want to honor the life of Michonne and her character, but there's so much else that she means to other characters that we still don't know. And I feel like the show owes us some type of conclusion with that. So with all that said, thank you guys for watching. I'm going to have some sort of update vlog, just as a channel update, talking about some of the crazy virus stuff going on that's pretty much put civilization at a halt. I mean, you want to talk about freaking Walking Dead apocalypse events. I mean, it's not on that level, but there's just concerning things happening in the real world. Not a television show or a video game. This is real, and I just wanted to discuss it a little bit. And I will do that in another vlog, because as I mentioned in the beginning, it's obviously affected Talking Dead, many sports in the United States that I watch, and just schools and a whole bunch of things. So we'll get to it, but in the beginning of this vlog, I wanted to mention that specifically because Talking Dead might not be on for the rest of the season, because I don't foresee the virus going away anytime soon. and the finale of season 10 is like the middle of April. So I doubt that like The Talking Dead is suddenly going to be cleared to have an audience all of a sudden. I honestly think that episode 11 Talking Dead with Greg Nicotero and Daryl and Norman Reedus, honestly, ironically, if that's the final episode of Talking Dead for season 10, that's crazy that it ends with two of the biggest names. I mean, you got probably the best director and one of the most famous characters left on the show, who were one of the last people to do it. But I just don't know what they'll do, how they'll do it. There's a lot of questions. I mean, there's just every single day, each day seems to bring new questions about everything, let alone a fucking TV show or a talk show about a TV show. I should just be glad that I'm still getting the episodes. Obviously the episodes were completed months ago, and they're just scheduled on TV to come out, so I don't have to worry about that being affected, and I can still do reviews and previews and reactions, and honestly, doing all this stuff is keeping me sane, to be quite honest. So, I'm happy to be doing it. So, all of these predictions about Michonne, it's a great time to be talking about it. So let me know what you guys think, because I'm sure you guys also have a lot of free time on your hands. So if you want to theorize what's going to happen with Michonne's final episode in just a few days, let me know, and we can discuss it. Cool. All right, guys. And also, I was surprised about a lot of people disagreed with my assessment of episode 12, where I said it felt disjointed. I still stand by that, but I mean, a lot of you guys were just kind of, I think the adrenaline of, and I agree, the adrenaline of the Negan stuff with Alpha and the battle at the beginning, I get it. There's a lot of adrenaline inducing scenes, but I just thought I had to be honest, because there were some other things that I just didn't think made sense. So hopefully, yeah. Obviously, I always put my opinions out there, whether they're popular or not. So that's that. So, I'll see you guys. I'm going to go upload this, and, yep. See you guys later. Peace.